Good evening, everyone. Welcome to North Clackamas open session, Thursday, June 10th, 2021. We're happy to have all of you guys here. This is a hybrid meeting. We have some online and some in person. We'll begin our meeting with our native land acknowledgement.
We acknowledge the land on which we sit and which we call the North Clackamas School District. It rests on the traditional and indigenous land and village sites of the native people of the Kalapuya, Chinook, Malala, and Clackamas. We take this opportunity to offer gratitude for the ability to learn, work, and be a community on this land. And we offer thanks to the original caretakers of this region. We recognize the historic policies of colonization, genocide, relocation, and assimilation that affected Indigenous and Native families, both past and present, and that will affect those in the future, and honor the resilience and revitalization of our Indigenous and Native communities. We pay our respects to the elders, both past and present, who have been the stewards of this land throughout the generations.
Thank you. Director McVeigh, will you lead us in the pledge? But everyone, can you turn off your camera? I just thought about that when we stand up. It'll be inappropriate, so.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So quiet. Might have lost my mic halfway through that. Sorry about that.
We'll get it right. Cool. Thank you, guys. And we'll begin by approving our May 27th, 2021 minutes. Open the floor for a motion.
Okay, motion approval of the May 2020 minutes. May 27th minutes, sorry.
Bowers, second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Stephen? Okay, thank you. Unanimous, Sandra? Also aye. Next thing on our agenda, we need to approve our consent agenda, which has 4 items: employment changes, non-licensed administrator contract renewals, exempt administrator contract renewals, Oregon School Employee Association Memo of Understanding. Open the floor for a motion.
Director Stradle, move consent agenda, including employment changes, non-licensed administrator contract renewals, exempt administrator contract renewals, and Oregon School Employee Association Memo of Understanding.
Benaloga, second.
Excellent. All in favor, say aye.
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 And aye for myself, also unanimous. Next on our agenda is community requests. I've been informed that we have none at this time. Is that correct? Still? Okay, cool. Moving right along. The next thing on the agenda is the Spring Mountain Elementary School presentation. And Ms. Kalia Williams Rodriguez is here to start us with our presentation.
Hi, everyone. Ms. Jessica Sun, welcome. Happy Thursday, everyone.
I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen, so just bear with me for one moment. Members of the board and school board, thank you so much for taking some time to hear about Spring Mountain Elementary School. I am the super proud principal of Spring Mountain Elementary School, Jessica Sun. I'd like to take some time to share with you some of the things that have been happening at Spring Mountain in the last 3 years. A lot has happened since you've last heard from us, so we wanted to share with you what's been going on. But more importantly, our students want to share with you what they enjoy about Spring Mountain.
I have a couple things I like about Spring Mountain. One of the things is I like the teachers. And they're all nice and kind and think about the other students who are having trouble, like when I was little.
One thing I like about Spring Mountain is how hard and how much effort the teachers put into every little detail. What I like about the Spring Mountain teachers is that they're all super nice and helpful. Everyone is really kind to you, and there are no bullies. The thing I like the most about my school is learning math. I like the recess. And I've made a lot of friends there, so I really like Spring Mountain. What I like about Spring Mountain is that you get to see all of your friends.
Okay, I have a couple things I love about Spring Mountain, but one of them is how I think everyone respects me. The teachers do, the kids do. It's just a very good environment to be in.
Why I like Spring Mountain is because I love its chant. What I like about Spring Mountain is that you can meet new friends and they have nice teachers.
I have a couple things I like about.
I knew that was going to happen. And here we go. All right.
Mission and vision. We at Spring Mountain Elementary are dedicated to the success of all children. To ensure that our children will reach their potential, we will maintain high expectations and promote academic excellence for all students. We will create and support a positive school environment in which all children and adults feel welcome, respected, trusted, and an important part of our school. We will create rich, varied experiences in our learning that accommodate different styles. We will encourage students to be confident, knowledgeable, responsible, and productive citizens in a diverse, ever-changing world. We will provide an environment which is safe, orderly, inviting, and enriching.
So this, our mission and vision drives everything we do. Student voice is always at the forefront, and as you can hear, we have some great students at Spring Mountain. Throughout our presentation today, we'll be sharing different aspects of our school that we feel shows that we've been putting our mission and vision into effect, especially in the last 3 years. One of the things that we really hold true is that teacher and staff voice. So we have a lot of opportunities for our teachers to be leaders and to drive what they think is important in our work. The professional learning communities, we have a teacher leadership team, and then this year we added collaborative learning and discussion groups, and a lot of great work came out of those subgroups. When we're saying that we maintain high expectation and promote academic excellence for all students, one of the major roles is our multi-tiered system of supports. Our social emotional learning team this year really took a look at our learning communities and also our curriculum that we've been using, and really felt like our students needed more explicit instruction. And so we as a team have decided to use the Caring School Communities in addition to our Mind Up curriculum that we had adopted prior. We've been working with other schools along with Marie Claire to make sure that we are implementing that curriculum, and we'll be doing that full-fledged next year. Whenever possible, we have the teacher as the academic interventionist, and we use instructional assistants to teach on-level guided reading, and that involves a lot of creative scheduling, but it is a priority for us that our most needy children are getting the academic interventions from the teachers. And then the counselor and I meet weekly to review behavior data, both qualitative and quantitative, and we work to develop behavioral and social emotional interventions. We use the Hawk's Nest and determine students who may benefit from that, which is our social emotional room. And then also we use that to think about families that we may offer Western psychological support within our school. One of the major roles in the last 3 years when we're talking about academics has been our Fontes and Pinnell adoption. But beyond that, it's just modeling our growth mindset. If there's been anything we've modeled in the last 17 months, it's that we're all learners and we're all getting better at our things. And we use the term yet a lot. I'm getting better at presenting online. I am getting better at learning how to use Google Classroom. Those are things our students are hearing from us all the time. I can do hard things. We can do hard things together. So that's been definitely what's been pulling us through in the last 17 months. So we'll hear from a staff member.
Hi, my name is Amber Henderson, and I am the speech therapist for Spring Mountain Elementary. Something that I am so proud of this year is how hard all of my students have worked. This has been an incredibly challenging year, and each of them have rose to the occasion with grace and confidence and bravery, and I am so proud of all of my hardworking students. I'm also really proud of the community that we have developed at Spring Mountain Elementary and how supportive our whole staff is for each other. Thank you.
When we initially closed down in March of 2020, we got together as a staff and we had a conversation, and we decided that this was going to be our priority. Relationships before rigor, grace before grades, patience before program, and love before lessons. We wanted our families to know that we were supporting them, that we cared about them, and that our number one priority was that everybody was feeling safe and provided for. And what I'll tell you is that that resulted in a lot of academic growth for both our staff and our students. And what I can show you is that our staff showed that they cared about their students, and the students recognized that care. Does your teacher want you to do your best? 99% of our 3rd through 5th graders answered positively in our Youth Truth Survey. That's an increase of 5% from the prior year. We had an increase in 3% in do you think your teacher wants you to work your hardest? And a 10% increase when does your teacher ask you to keep trying when the work gets hard? Beyond that, we increased with the question, do you think your teacher cares about you? To 94%. And does your teacher treat you with respect? 96% answered positively. Our students know that we care and love them, and that we want them to do their best. And academically, that has shown a lot of gains. So that's been a great focus for us in this unprecedented and trying times. Our families, when they've been surveyed for Youth Truth, have said that they really appreciate our focus on education, as well as our friendly environment and our culture. One parent had to say, they know who my son is, and they show support and help me anytime he has needed it. That just makes me feel so proud as the leader of our school. When we're looking to create positive school environments, one of the things that we've had this year is an opportunity and a challenge. So we looked at how we could make students feel welcome in our community when we're all online. One of the ways that we did that right when we knew that we were going to be able to open is we had our new student orientation for our limited in-person instruction. But we went back into our rosters to find our students who maybe had some troubles connecting with our school prior to the school closure for a variety of reasons. We had a couple students who were brand new students 3 weeks before we closed down. So we included them in our limited in-person instruction to make sure that they felt like confident and that they were ready to come into our building and know that we cared about them. Our teachers held office hours. Some of them held the complement and coach sessions, one-on-one 10-minute sessions with their students each week so that they could know what they were doing well and what they needed to work on with some goal setting opportunities. And one of the greatest opportunities that we had this year with our online format is we were able to have whole staff meetings and professional developments with our instructional assistant. That was a direct result of having this new format. So it was definitely an opportunity for us. Another opportunity and also challenge was thinking about how we were going to have our traditions and our spirit and still have fun in elementary school. So our school spirit team took on the challenge of doing virtual field day, virtual talent shows, virtual spirit days like Pajama Day, everybody's favorite, and having student voice whenever possible. So we still had our monthly assemblies. Sometimes we had students leading the assemblies, sometimes we had teachers, but there was always students represented throughout the assembly. And I think that showed our students that they really are part of our community. Another opportunity that we had that was so amazing was we were able to create Hangouts and Clubs. So this was from our community building team, and they were able to each week offer different Hangouts and Google clubs and activities for our students so that they could get to know each other, have some social time, and be able to explore different interests. One of our favorite ones was our new PE teacher, Mr. Watts, was able to host morning movement twice a week, and kindergarten through 5th graders all did a movement break together before school started so they could be focused for the day. And I got to tell you, watching kindergartners doing the same exercises as 5th graders who are in like pro athlete mode was pretty fun to watch, and the kids had a lot of fun. When we look at what our families have to say about our community building and our welcoming, one parent said in our survey this year, they take the time to care about instances that may be difficult and prepare to take action should the need arise. That makes me feel good about our school and what we're doing for our families. When our staff thinks about what we've done in the last 3 years, a lot of it is around this idea that we've built a strong community of support, both for one another within our school staff, but also for our community. Our community cares about us and we care about them, and that is shown through all of the work that we've been doing. Something that we've taken on this year is really taking a look at being intentional about the literature that we share with our students during morning meeting. We took on each monthly heritage celebration and really highlighted and tried to focus our readings, our daily readings, on books that supported and affirmed those different identities. At the very beginning, we started with virtual reading rooms, and then as we went through, we were able to bring on school-wide, both common books and also grade level common books. So a couple teachers gave some feedback about that.
The books have brought a daily focus and opportunity for discussion in an ongoing manner in our classroom rather than just one day. It has brought up discussions in my homeroom on differences, customs, racism, and social justice issues that cover equality, individual rights, freedom of speech, and a lot of our discussion have focused on the word bias and what that means to each of us.
I apologize, my mouse went away from me. There it is.
I believe these shared experiences have brought important lessons to our students. We have worked as grade level teams to create lessons to incorporate these themes into our morning meeting and during our in-class lessons. Students have learned about a wide variety of people during the Black Excellence slides and Women's History Month slides. Also, Arab American Month. I appreciate the books purchased for our classes, 28 Days, Movements in Black History That Changed the World, and Little Dreamers, Visionary Women from Around the World. I feel this learning supported our school vision statement and the district's mission and vision statement in providing students an opportunity to learn about people in our community and history that might be the same or different from themselves.
As part of that intentional focus, we were also able to invite our families and staff to share about their culture with our school community. We did that through our weekly newsletter as well as our website. So we had students share about Dia de los Muertos, and we had our staff member Nicola Cascio share about Filipino traditions that she has in her family. So it was a great way for us to continue to build community and also learn about one another. You probably noticed in your board packet that I linked our virtual art night galleries from last year when we were not able to have our annual art night. But we really pride ourselves at Spring Mountain on providing rich and varied experiences for students. As part of our annual art night, we're able to support art materials in our school, as well as a second artist in residency. And Larry Verdorn is our artist in resident that we've used in the past for our school-based art residency. In addition, we've partnered with Sunrise Taekwondo and the National Taekwondo Foundation Program to bring Taekwondo to our third graders. Unfortunately, last year last year was just finishing up, and this year we were not able to do it because of social distancing, but we hope to continue programs like that in the future. And with the Right Brain Initiative, we were able to bring Mo Phillips for a K2 art experience where students learned about songwriting. Students had a lot of fun learning how to write a song. So they had some opportunities learning some classics and also learning their own fun songs. Of course, it's going to happen again to me. We can do hard things, Mrs. Sun. There we go. All right. Finally, we have really worked to make sure that we have a safe and orderly inviting environment for all of our families and staff. Our bond work is starting this summer. We're really excited about that work. And our custodians took the unique opportunity of having the buildings closed, and they really worked hard to make sure that our building was sparkling clean and ready to go for hybrid. You've seen several of the murals that we've brought into our school, both ones that were designed by professional artists and then also our student artists, just to share a voice and make sure that we have a welcoming environment. Our native plant wall is alongside of a native plant garden that the students have planted. And I'm most excited about this next project. Our students are painting rocks for their identity, to share something that is unique to them or important to them about their own identity. And we're basing that off of the book, The Proudest Blue. And we will be displaying those rocks as a whole school community in our building. So we're really excited about that project. Moving forward, we will have continued conversations about equity. Next year, we'll be doing a whole staff. And again, it will be classified and certified with this book as anti-racist. We're going to start having conversations about microaggressions and advocate lessons for students. We really loved the clubs and activities for our students, so we're going to look for ways to continue that and expand it when we're in person. We are experiencing boundary changes this summer, so we'll be welcoming new students and saying goodbye to others. And then also thinking about how we're going to welcome kindergarten students and families, but also families who've never been in our building because they've been in CDL for a whole year. So we have some students who've never set foot on our campus, but they are Spring Mountain Hawks. Finally, what our staff is looking forward to is just continued community and working together as a team to support all of our students and families at Spring Mountain. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to share a little bit about Spring Mountain.
Thank you, Principal Sun. Excellent presentation. We appreciate you. Any questions, comments, direct away?
Yes, thank you so much for this presentation. It's great to really hear the student voices throughout the work that y'all are doing. I just have a quick question. I was looking at one of the attachments in our board packet on, I think it was a school profile from 2019 to 2020. And in the amount of counselors and psychologists, there was 0. And I didn't know if that was an error, because I was like, wow, it's kind of hard to imagine, but I just wanted some clarity.
I appreciate that. I didn't notice that. So we do have one full-time school counselor, Dawn Seaberger. She does fabulous work. And then we share a school psychologist with Oregon Trail currently. So we have a 0.5 school psychologist.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to double check.
Thank you for bringing that up. That's a problem.
Yes.
Anyone else? Director Perez?
Yeah, thank you for that awesome presentation, Principal Sun. One question, then picture's wrong.
I think your camera needs the boost.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. It took me a year and a half doing the Zoom meetings to figure all that out. Okay. So, Principal Sun, thank you for the awesome presentation. I was going to say, I had one question and one comment. Okay. And question was, what was, I missed the name of the book that the rock paintings were based off of? Something blue?
The Proudest Blue.
Proudest.
Okay. It was written, I'm going to look at my phonetic spelling because I want to say it correct. Ibtihaj Mohammed. And she was, you may remember, was the athlete that wore the hijab in the Olympics. So yeah. She wrote, so it's a fictional story about the hijab and being proud of the hijab. And then students were thinking about things about their own identity that they were proud of. And so they've created the Rock Project based on that.
That's really cool.
Really excited about it.
And then the comment or I wanted to just say listening to your presentation, I think I counted the word community 5 or 6, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5, and welcome and care and positive and relationship, and even the relationship before rigor, grace before grades, patience before programs, love before lessons. How you have created a village there, and with the village, I always say, if you create a village, a caring village, for the kids, they will excel. And it sounds like you've done that. And I want to say, you send the weekly newsletter. I think you send a weekly newsletter. Yeah. And there was one of your newsletters I would just want to say real quick, where you wrote, I'm just going to take a sentence from what you wrote. You said your husband and you and your husband were fortunate to go out and dined at your favorite restaurant in the local area, probably the best meal I ever had. Mm-hmm. And then you said, quote, "It was fun to see and hear the passion that the chef had for his work come through in the food. Mm-hmm. The passion that you have for the work you do does not go unnoticed either." And you were saying this to your staff. Mm-hmm. Well, I just want to say, you can see the fun and the passion in you for your work. Oh, thank you. And that trickles down. You've set the tone for your village just by the fun and the energy and the passion you have for what you do. So I just wanted to say, awesome job, Principal Sun.
It is my honor to serve the families of Spring Mountain and the staff and support them in their work, because they are passionate educators and we work together to support. I had a conversation with a parent the other day and going through a hard time with her child, which many of our families are at home. They've been at home for a long, long time. And, I just said, we will work together. We're going to support you and figure this out. So don't worry, we've got it. We've got it. And sometimes you just need to hear that someone else understands. And that's what we've really been, that March 20th date, I can picture it very closely as to what our staff just kind of made of the shift. Like, nope, we're not going to talk about school and grades. We're going to talk about how are our families doing and what do you need from us? And from that came the grades and the lessons.
Yeah, and I just had a flashback when you were saying that last thing there. And my favorite teacher of all time, I still remember Mr. Borgioli. It's the class I did the best in, European culture. Mm-hmm. But it's because I felt cared for in his classroom. I never forget him to this day, because I felt cared for, and I did well in his class because of that. So you're doing the same thing. Good job.
Thank you.
Others? Director Bauer?
Thank you, Principal Sun. I really enjoyed your presentation and agree with everything that has been said by fellow board members. I visited, and you've always made me feel welcome, and observed one of your trainings in the summer to learn a lot about your professional development. But I'm very struck by your youth truth results, the increase in spite of a pandemic. What are one or two of the things that you've learned and you will keep as you go into the next year? I was just wondering if there's, because we've all learned things about this difficult year, but I do want to congratulate you on the good results and just wanted to ask you your thoughts on that. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Oh, yeah. So, one of the conversations that I've been having with my staff, as we're closing out the year is, okay, loaded question, how was the year, right? But also, what is something that you've done in this year that you see yourself continuing in your practice for next year? And hands down, the number one answer has been morning meetings and intentional connections with kids. So in prior years, maybe we thought we were doing a morning meeting where we were just, reading the agenda and letting kids know what homework we were going to be doing. And now we're really doing this social, emotional, how are you feeling? How does that make you feel? Let's talk about that and let's think about how we can support one another. And from that, we get gains, because when you're doing the math lesson and someone says, I can't do this, I saw kids spontaneously give each other thumbs up on the Google screen as they were working together on a math problem. They didn't do that because somebody told them to do that. They did that because the community was there and they were willing to take the risk because they knew that their classmates had them. And that's a direct result from the morning meetings and the community building that we did.
Thank you.
Director Benelo.
Yes, thank you, Principal Sun. Wonderful presentation. I have to say it was very heartwarming to see your students talk about community and respect. And I think that's wonderful, and your staff as well, and your family. So, and I just have one question, and just to tell me a little bit more about it. You said that you have your IAs doing your on-level reading, and your teachers are actually doing the academic interventions. Can you talk a little bit about what that has done and what the changes have done for your school?
So what I will tell you is I don't know that we're 100% there yet. So don't say that I'm 100% there, because we're all working on it. But what the goal is during the guided readings, which is the smaller group readings where kids are reading based on their grade level, not the whole group share out and the whole group lessons, we're having the instructional assistants work with the students who are on grade level or above. And then we've got the teachers, who are really the reading experts, teaching the students who need that extra boost. And so that's taken a lot of creative scheduling. And one of the things that we've done sometimes is we have maybe a mixed group of second and third graders together to be able to host that group of students. And we try to work our best to make sure that everybody is getting the attention that they need.
I think that's excellent. And I would love to hear, after you do have it up and running, I'd love to hear what you think the academic progress is, and actually look at some of your data to see what's happened with your academic process and with your kids that were struggling with reading. I'd love to hear the progress. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Director Stradel, do you have anything?
I appreciate Principal Sun's presentation, and I thank everybody for all their great questions, board members, but I have no questions. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for the great presentation, and I look forward to the next one even.
Great.
Thanks.
And I'll wrap it up by saying excellent presentation. Just a logistics note, I really appreciated the voiceovers. I think that sometimes we forget there's different language absorbers. And so being able to look at it while hearing it was really, really helpful. I don't think we've had a presentation like that. It's just a logistical thing, but well done. And then also I want to say the translation of your words and your statements into the actions, that's not always an easy thing for people to do. And so I really appreciate the fact that you guys are not just writing it down, but your actions are showing what what is written. So great work. Great work. Good to see you, Principal Sun. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me share. And we welcome you to our school. Come anytime. We'd love to see you.
Careful what you wish for.
No, I'm serious.
I know.
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
Thank you. All right, next on our agenda, we have Ncea Recognition. I see Andrea there. Are you ready to rock and roll?
I get the floor this evening.
Oh, okay. Melinda,
know,
my
it's
bad.
strange.
Yay.
Melinda.
Hi there. Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you tonight. Andrea and I are both here this evening on behalf of NCEA to honor Matt as he heads into retirement. When we think of Matt Utterback, many words come to mind: committed, authentic, human, goal-oriented, collaborative, thoughtful, empathetic, and fair. In the several years the NCEA has had the pleasure of working with Matt, these personal qualities have shown through. He has always been open to engaging in challenging conversations and has been willing to take other perspectives into account in his decision-making. The human factor has always been forefront in his mind. How will this decision impact our students and families and staff? Matt has worked to guide this district ship through the storm of the pandemic, repeatedly choosing caution and safety over making rash decisions. Perhaps most notable of all has been Matt's focus on equity. He successfully steered North Clackamas School District in a direction that seeks to honor the identities of each one of the individuals who walks through our doors. While we are committed to continuing this work, it was Matt's courage in beginning the work that will be his real legacy. To honor Matt's commitment to North Clackamas School District and his tireless advocacy for those who need more, North Clackamas Education Association will be making a donation in the amount of $1,000 to the North Clackamas Education Foundation Housing Fund in Matt's name. Matt, it has been our pleasure doing business with you. May you enjoy all the things retirement brings your way to the greatest extent possible. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you going to say anything?
No, I wasn't expecting that. It really has been a joy. This is, it's been my life's work. And, I started here 32 years ago as a fresh out of the college, first year teacher teaching science. And this district has given me the opportunities to learn and grow over those 32 years. And I can't think of a better place to spend my professional career, live in the community, and have my daughter go through this school district. And we've been all in, and we've gotten a lot of love and support and grace back from all of those that we've had the opportunity to come into contact with. And it's been a wonderful journey. I think you'll still see me around. I'm not gonna go away, completely. I think we still have a lot to give, and want to continue to do that. But specifically, to NCEA, I really can't think of a better association in the state of Oregon to work with, and our ability to come together to solve problems, I really think, is a model for other districts and associations across the state and across this country. And so it has been a joy to work with you as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Surprise. Nice work, ladies.
Well done.
Yeah.
Of course, during this time, there's a Dr. James upstairs painting and moving furniture out of somebody's office. But
yeah. All right. Any comments from the board?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. The thumbs up. There it is. We can do hard things. Okay. Next we have alternative placement 2021-2022. Tiffany Shireman, are you ready? This is just for discussion, just for clarity for the board.
That's right. I am here with Vivian Garrison, our Executive Director of Student Support Services tonight. Vivian is joining me for this particular item, and we are here, as Chair Ford said, presenting the staff's recommendation for proposed alternative programs for the 2021-2022 school year, and it is a discussion item. Board policy indicates that the board annually approves alternative programs. So this is an annual item that comes before you each year. Typically, alternative program placements are most frequently used to accommodate students' unique needs associated with a disability, to accommodate expulsion or expulsion alternative needs, or to accommodate the learning needs of students who are ages 17 or older, approximately 17 or older, who have few academic credits and for whom North Clackamas School District programs have not been or likely would not be successful given where they are in both their age and their academic career. In all cases, any North Clackamas resident student who attends an alternative program placement is linked together with at least one North Clackamas School District staff member, and that staff member reviews the placement multiple times throughout the school year with the student and or their family. It could be a mixture of both. And the staff the North Clackamas staff also coordinates with the staff at the alternative placement to ensure that progress is being made and to look for any accommodations that need to be modified. Students and families' unique learning and safety needs are considered before, during, and after the placement. Vivi and I are both here and we'll seek your action at the next board meeting, but we're available for questions or discussion.
Questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you. We'll see you next time.
We will, thanks.
Okay, we're moving into our budget hearing, and per state law, we are required to have a budget hearing before we adopt our budget. So at this time, I will open the hearing for public, is it testimony? What is it? Testimony? Do we have any public testimony at this time? Okay. We do not have any public testimony, so I am now closing the public hearing and we're moving to our next agenda item, which is adopting the budget, making appropriations, and declaring the tax levy for 2021 and through 2022. This is an action item. Galen Jacobson, are you ready for us?
Yes, I am. So we recommend that you adopt the following resolutions to adopt the budget for fiscal year 2021-22 in the total amount of $542,245,560. Resolution 2021-113 to approve the amounts for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2021, and for the purposes shown hereby appropriated as presented. Resolution 2021-114 to approve the following ad valorem property taxes imposed for the tax year 2021-2022 upon the assessed value of all taxable property within the district at the rate per 1,000 of assessed value of $4.8701 for permanent tax rate, at the rate of $1.63 per 1,000 of assessed value for the local option tax, and in the amount of $37,675,805 for the debt service on general obligation bonds. And finally, the resolution 2021-115 to approve the taxes imposed are categorized for the purposes of Article 11, Section 11B as the education limitation permanent tax rate of 4.8701 per 1,000 and at the rate of 163 per 1,000 and excluded from limitation general obligation bond debt service in the amount of $37,675,805.
Thank you. Board, I'll open the floor, but just a note, we need a motion for each resolution. They cannot be motioned as one. The floor is open.
Chair, I move to approve the first resolution, R 2021-112, to adopt the budget for fiscal year 2021-22 2022 in the total amount of $542,245,560.
Director Perez,
Thanks.
second.
I have a motion from Director Bauer. I have a second from Director Perez. Any discussion needed on resolution 2021-112? Seeing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Director Perez,
Aye.
Director Benaloga,
Aye.
Director McVeigh,
Aye.
Director Way,
Aye.
Director Bauer,
Aye.
Director Stradle,
Aye.
and Director Ford, aye. We have now approved resolution 2021-112. Floor is open.
I move that we approve, let's see, sorry. Resolution R20-21 -113 to approve the amounts for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021, and for the purposes shown are hereby appropriated as presented.
McVeigh, second.
Just point of order, do we need to state the total appointed budget?
No, you do not.
Thank you. Okay, I have a motion from Director Way, and I have a second from Director Stradle. I'm sorry, Director McVeigh, sorry. I'm with it now. Any discussion needed? Seeing none, roll call. Director McVeigh,
Aye.
Director Way,
Aye.
Director Bauer,
Aye.
Director Perez,
Aye.
Director Benaloga,
Aye.
Director Stradle,
Aye.
Director Ford is also aye. We have now approved R 2021-113. Floor is open.
Director Benaloga, I move board recommend the adopt the following resolutions. Resolution R 2021-114 to approve the following ad valorem property taxes are hereby imposed for the tax year 2021-2022 upon the assessed value of all property tax within the district at the rate of $1,000 of assessed value, of $4.8701 for permanent tax rate, at the rate of $1.63 per $1,000 of assessed value for local option tax, and in the amount of $37,675,805 for the debt service on general obligation bonds.
Bauer, second.
It's been properly moved by Director Benaloga and second by Director Bauer. Any discussion needed? Seeing none, Director Stradle,
Aye.
Director Perez,
Aye.
Director Benaloga,
Aye.
Director McVeigh,
Aye.
Director Way,
Aye.
Director Bauer,
Aye.
and Director Ford is aye. Resolution imposing a tax R 2021-114 has been adopted and approved. Thank you. Floor is open.
Motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for number 4 resolution R2021-115 to approve that the taxes imposed are hereby categorized for the purposes of Article 11, Section 11B as one education limitation permanent tax rate of, is that 48,000? No, 4.8701 per 1,000 at the rate of 1.63 per 1,000 and excluded from limitation general obligation bond debt service in the amount of $37,675,805.
A second.
Benaloga, second.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Director Perez and second by Director Benaloga. Any discussion needed? Seeing none. Director Schrader,
Aye.
Director Way,
Aye.
Director Benaloga,
Aye.
Director Perez,
Aye.
Director McVeigh,
Aye.
Director Bauer,
Aye.
Director Ford is also aye. A resolution categorizing the tax R 2021-115 has now been approved. Thank you all for that. Appreciate the work that has been put in by the Budget Committee and also with the leadership of our Budget Committee Chair and also your direction, Galen. Thank you very much, you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda is the we did that. Comprehensive Sexual Education Plan. This is an action item. Ms. Maureen, are you ready?
I sure am. Good evening, Board of Directors. Tonight, we are seeking your approval for our latest version of the Comprehensive Sexuality Education Plan. Kara Mortimer and I are here to answer any questions you may have.
Just a reminder, this was a discussion item in our last meeting. Are there any additional questions needed? Oh, Director McVeigh?
Can you just, for those that are watching, I had a parent reach out to me and wanted to know what the activity is if a parent opts out of any of the training.
Yep. Kara, go ahead and you want to take that?
In terms of what the process is that the question, Director?
No, they thought that they might be sitting in the hall, and I said I don't think that happens. I think they, but I wanted to find out from you guys.
It's very school and teacher dependent. For all of our secondary 6-12, typically the option is an alternative assignment that's done in the library, assuming that this is an in-person, a lesson that's done in person and not synchronously done online. If it's a synchronously done online, then it's just a reminder to parents, don't forget the lesson is going to be happening today. Please don't log in. And then for K-5, it's varied, but it's most typical that a student is in another classroom and that the classes are not offering the lesson at the exact same time, just so that students are in a safe place where they're known and can work on whatever the alternative assignment is.
Thank you.
Other question, Director Way?
I just have a comment. I just really, again, appreciate all the work that goes behind building this comprehensive plan. And my comments are just really around just, including some of these pieces around healthy relationships, substance abuse prevention, particularly around drug and alcohol. And then also, I believe that this is a secondary resource that's, a secondary state sources that's reflected in the plan, which is calling out harassment, bullying, cyberbullying, and intimidation, which I think are all important topics just for the health and well-being of our students. So thank you so much for just including all of those pieces as well. And I'm supportive.
Great, thank you.
Other questions, comments? Okay, seeing none, I'll open the floor for motion.
Bauer, I move to approve the district's comprehensive sexuality education plan.
Way second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any additional discussion needed? Okay, seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Director Schradel,
Aye.
Director McVeigh,
Aye.
Director Way,
Aye.
Director Bauer,
Aye.
Director Perez,
Aye.
Director Benaloga,
Aye.
and Director Ford is aye. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. All the work that is going into it. It's definitely a very comprehensive, no pun intended, presentation. Appreciate you guys. All right, next on our agenda is our policy review. This is a discussion and or possible action item. Tiffany Shireman, you're back again.
Good evening. I am back again. I'm back again for the first of two agenda items that are linked together, so to speak. So this first agenda item in policy review, I'm bringing forward about community use of facilities and rentals for your consideration. And then once we're finished on this matter, the next agenda item will be around rental fees, specific to the rental fee schedule, and Cindy Detchen and Natalie Whistler will have that portion. So just want to make sure you know where we're headed. Here on the policy review, tonight it's listed as a discussion action. We are seeking that, that you consider moving it from discussion to action tonight if you feel so moved as a board. On the 13th of May at your board meeting, you received a presentation regarding community use and rental of district facilities. And following that presentation, the policy following the presentation, the policy and administrative regulations on the topic were referred back to an extended policy review team to really take a look at those from multiple different vantage points. The extended policy review team met twice to review these and found consensus on a number of substantive, tough word for me always, changes. And those are reflected in your board policy tonight. I'm going to read through them because I do think it's important since we're considering and asking you if you would consider moving this to action, that I walk through each one and that you know each of these. The first two are from the policy. We updated the policy to remove a fairly subjective term about the word worthy as it related to some activities. Policy also, we removed or we added public health regulations as a consideration in the policy. And then the remaining are in the administrative regulation, which we aren't asking you to take action on tonight, but they're very intermeshed and intertwined between the policy and the AR. And we wanted to make sure you had ample opportunity to look at these AR changes. Removing wording about specific departmental processes. This was an AR that got pretty deep into the details of what happens internally within the department that's processing. So we streamlined that language, aligned the language in the AR to the current staff titles and roles. Those change rather regularly in a school district our size. We added an appeal process for nonprofit youth organizations that are unable to field teams with 90% North Clackamas School District youth. This received substantial conversation and was at the heart of some of the discussion the board entertained at its last meeting where it was discussing this topic. We added a provision for requiring Class A organizations to advertise their scholarship opportunities and to report those scholarship opportunities to, or scholarship distributions, what they actually distributed to North Clackamas. Added a provision for charging a deposit for keys that actually just aligns to our current practice. It is a practice already in place. We also added a provision to work with our business office, and depending on if it's a really unique activity, there could be an additional insurance requirement passed on to the renter. The deletion of the application form, actually from the administrative rule, we're now using an online application system. So the codifying the paper application in the administrative rule doesn't really make sense for us these days, since the online form may be changed or tweaked and to meet everyone's needs. We also have recommended here or have in the AR the deletion of the current fee schedule, and to move away from the fee schedule being part of the AR and move to the fee schedule being in alignment with other fee schedules that come before the board, and a fee schedule would just come to the board whenever it's proposed that it would be increased by more than 5%. So you would see those then as standalone fee schedules, kind of like with nutrition services or our textbook and student materials actions. So tonight, I'm seeking that you consider moving this board policy from discussion to action, and then seeking action on the policy revisions. Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation. I just want to remind all board members, if it is your desire to move it to action, you'll have to motion for that first before we move into actually making a motion about this topic. And before we move forward, I just want to ask Director McVeigh, if I know you were represented on this committee, which is not your normal committee, so I want to thank you for doing that. Do you feel like you had your representation? Because I know you have a connection in Milwaukee and we want to make sure those voices were heard. Do you feel like that was satisfactory for you? Are we ready to move forward?
Absolutely. And Chair Ford, just thank you for slowing the process down a little bit. Staff always has great recommendations, and I thought it was welcome the fact that you slowed it down just to make sure that we had all the voices in, even though staff always does. Mm-hmm. But it was great, and I appreciate the work of the policy group and allowing me to participate on a couple of those. So, cool. And absolutely, we're, I think, ready to rock and roll.
Cool. Well, sounds like a plan. I will open the floor.
Okay, I'll motion that we move this to an action item.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Director Perez, second.
And properly moved. Any discussion on moving it to an action item? Director Bauer?
If I had a comment and question, is this the place where it's appropriate?
The comment would have to. So you can make a comment once we make a motion for the item, okay, if it becomes an action, but this comment section would just be on moving it to an action item.
Okay, no.
Okay, let's take a vote. All directors in favor, just say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Director Ford, I'm also aye. All right, we will now move this policy review to action. I will now open the floor for a motion. You guys just made it an action item and no one has a motion.
I was trying to pull up the exact words. McVeigh, I make a motion to approve superintendent's recommendation of the attached revised policy KG, community use of district facilities.
Excellent. Properly moved. That was second.
Director Benaloga, second.
Excellent. We're properly moved in second. Any discussion on this action? Director Bauer.
Well, I did want to comment. Thank you, Director McVeigh, for serving on this committee. And it took 2 meetings. I know it's a lot of work. And I just had one observation as I went through. There were a lot of lines crossed out. So it did look like the information for the people that apply now is more online and on the application. And then there was reference to other information with the facility use code of conduct. So most of that went into maybe those two areas. I just kind of wanted to confirm that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimously passes. Thank you guys for the work on that. I appreciate it. Next on our agenda is our rental fees for community use of district facilities. This is an action item. Cindy, are you there? There you go.
I am. Thank you, Chair Ford and Board of Directors. Natalie Whistler is joining me as well, should you have any additional questions. We are seeking your approval tonight on adjusting the fee schedule for our rental fees for community use. This was discussed at our May 13th meeting. There have been no changes to the fee schedule that was in your board packet on the 13th of May. We did have two expanded policy committee meetings with representation both by board members that were mentioned here this evening, as well as representation from our high school athletic directors who also take responsibility in the rental of our high school facilities. A really needed voice, and it was unanimous in the decisions that were made at those meetings. As a reminder, just a couple things in the background. Besides an additional fee for turf rental increase in 2017, we have not increased any fees for rentals of our facilities for over 12 years in North Clackamas. This past year, Natalie and her team conducted a fee comparison study across 14 different metro area school districts. We were far below almost all of them in almost every single category. We're not trying to be the highest. We're not even going to be the middle of that group until a 5-year schedule. We want to take this slowly. We know nobody likes to have increased fees. We also know that a lot of our teams in our clubs and our organizations are just coming back from recovery of the pandemic, and it's going to be difficult for everybody at this time. Taking all of that into consideration, we have given you a 5-year incremental fee schedule so that by the year 2026, we would be kind of in the middle of the 2021 fee rentals across the community. We know we won't be at the middle then if they continue to increase. And again, that's not our goal to try to have any kind of a war between who can raise their prices of any way, shape, or form. So we do believe this is a modest, incremental 5-year plan, and we do seek your approval tonight. Are there any questions?
I'm going to open the floor for a motion first, and then if you have questions, you can ask.
Director Benaloga, I move board approval of the superintendent's recommendation to approve the adjusted fee schedule to phase in price increases annually for all district facilities as shown on attachment A.
Director Perez, second.
It's properly moved in second. Any discussion or questions?
I just think what Cindy said, sorry, Chair Ford, what Cindy said, that more than likely we'll still be at the bottom in 5 years. I think that's really important. We're not looking, she is not looking to gouge anyone, for lack of better words. And if we miss on this, we could have a chance to look at this again, but I think it's a right recommendation. So thanks for all the hard work, and thanks for all of the shopping you did of other districts' facilities, and just to see what kind of parity we would have, and we're still a good deal.
Other questions, comments? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm also aye. Director Schrader. Okay, cool. Unanimously passes. Thank you guys for your work on this. Thank you all for being here this evening. And I think I just set a record, 7:41, meeting adjourned.
Congratulations on being efficient.
Thank you.
If Tori was running the meeting, we'd be